So about 3 months ago, I was diagnosed with a hernia. It was an inguinal hernia, and not sure how long I had it. Found it during a regular annual exam. So did some research. Doctor said you don't have to get it done. It wasn't like bulging out really or anything like that. And he said some people don't get it taken care of, and usually it's okay. But I lift weights and I didn't want to stop lifting weights or be concerned about it, so decided to have it done. Took about 6 months just for me. I had work and it was kind of getting in the way, so I kept postponing it. Finally had it done about a week ago. Took a little video recording myself walking around my parents' neighborhood there just to show that I can walk, and it was only a few days after the surgery. Had some advice. I was definitely on opioids during that walk. I don't know if I admitted that or not. Mispronounced some things. I think I was calling it Inguinal Hernia or something like that. Repeated some stuff, so hope you find some humor in that. But if you're going through it, I'll give you some tips at the end, and take a look at this. So we're going to talk through a little bit about inguinal hernias, which I just had surgery. It was Thursday morning, and right now it's Monday morning. So I had mine diagnosed probably 3 months ago, and I couldn't feel it myself. Like, doctor right away when he went in and said, okay, turn your head and cough, right away he's like, you got a hernia. It's on my left side. Then I went to the surgeon for a check-in, and he said, yep, right away. I could not feel it at all, so I have no idea how they felt it. It never hurt me, ever. But they somehow said I had one, and of course they went in there, and I definitely had one. So I don't know how you self-diagnose, because for me, I couldn't do that. I had no idea I had it. It never hurt. I was able to work out, never pull, no tension, nothing. But anyway, they said, you could either leave it alone and just, hope that it doesn't get worse. They did say there's a risk of you can, cause some major damage, but I found out that was like probably less than 1% happening. So didn't do it. Nothing, happened for me anyway. But anyway, so I decided to have it done. Took about 3-4 months to get it set up. I had to delay it a few months because of work-related reasons. But ended up having it. I wish I would have done more research. I had open surgery. And again, mine was an inguinal hernia. Apparently the inguinal canal, there's 2 of them. And when you're developing in the womb, there's these canals that gonads sit inside your stomach, and they either turn into ovaries and slide down the inguinal canal if you're a female, and if you're a male, they turn into your testicles, and those slide down the canal. And apparently that's a weak spot in your stomach. So anyway, that's how apparently they form. I'm no doctor, but that's what they said. So anyway, I went in super nervous about it. I wish I would have done my research more, so I had the open surgery. But they have laparoscopic surgery now, where they basically just cut a few holes in. Recovery time apparently is a lot less. I didn't do that, and I have a massive scar. It's like 2 inches long, pretty ugly. But I'm going to take care of it and hopefully minimize the wound going forward. So, but we'll see what happens there. Let's see what else. But anyway, it was very painful the day after. So surgery itself, obviously I got put to sleep for it, so I didn't feel a thing. But when I got out of the wheelchair at the hospital, right away it hurt, right away. Really bad. And he said it was really big. It was like a 2-inch hole in the bottom of my stomach.
And he said it's definitely good that I came in and did it, because it would have definitely got worse and worse. So it's good that that happened. I'm afraid walking around this corner all the time. I'm going to turn around and go back this way. But I wish I would have gotten the arthroscopic surgery, honestly. Not that I'm vain. I mean, I'm over 50 now, so it's not like I'm going to be a bikini model or anything like that. However, recovery. So I'm on my 4th day now. So the first day when I came back, pain was pretty significant. And it was more internal pain. Like, if I had to pass gas, I couldn't even push it out because it hurt so bad. But it was like inside my stomach, probably where the actual surgery was done. The next day, I could pass gas. Still didn't have a bowel movement on the second day, which was Friday. Ended up having bowel movements on the Saturday, so it's not too bad, 3 days. I was taking the stool softener, I think it's Colace or whatever the medical or the prescribed one is. They did give me opioids, hydrocodone, which I took a few of them, and that definitely helped. I tried not to use them unless I had to, and tried to keep walking around, because I heard watching other people that if you don't walk around, if you just sit in one place, it's going to really get tight and it's going to be very difficult for you. So I tried to keep walking around, which was nice. I think I was able to walk about 4,000 steps a day. Sunday, which was yesterday, I started getting noticeably better. Still had trouble, like on Saturday night, I had trouble getting out of bed. That was tough. I just didn't have the right way to do it. My bed's up pretty high. But I think I figured that out, and Sunday night it wasn't so bad. So now really the pain is more on the actual scar, on the outside, like where my skin is. So yeah. And I'm going to be walking up to a neighbor here who's not very friendly, but we'll see. But again, I would say do your research on this one, because again, unless you want that big scar, there are other alternatives, which I didn't know about. Hello. Which I didn't know about at the time. So I would definitely say check that out. I think if they do it that way, you get like there's only 3 small scars when you're done. But for me, I got this like 2-inch long cut right at the bottom of my abdomen, which probably will have that for the rest of my life. They weren't going to use the screen initially for me, but it was so big that they decided they had to do that, and I'm glad, because I heard that if they do use the screen, or the mesh I think it's called, there's a much less or lower chance of it recurring. Now, I'm trying like heck not to lift anything or put any pressure on it at all. However, you can't stop yourself from coughing sometimes. So for me, I've had that happen a couple times, and when you cough, boy, there's no worse pain than that cough, I'll tell you right now. I'm going to check my mail here. And nothing. So anyway, I'd say on the pain factor, the first day, even till now, when I touch it, I can still feel numbness. So whatever they did on the day of surgery to make it numb, it's still there. I can still feel it. So they did a real good job there. Now, I don't remember anything. I remember them wheeling me into the operating room, and I don't remember anything after that until I woke up in the wheelchair. So very, very... Actually, I woke up in the bed, and then when I went into the wheelchair, that's where it really hurt. That was the first time it really hurt. So... now, as far as working out, like, I carried laundry up and down the stairs, just trying to be real careful. Didn't seem to have anything negative. I mean, I've heard stories where you can't lift weights for 4 to 6 weeks after or something like that, which I think is, I don't know, I guess everybody's different. But for me, obviously I'm not going to start benching 200 pounds or anything like that, but I'm going to just try to do some stuff. I had the surgery done in New York, and I'm going to stay sometime in the Hamptons and try to relax there, and then fly back to Chicago, where I work, Wednesday. Wasn't even sure if I'd be able to fly that quickly, but I think I'll have no trouble doing that. So I'm hoping within 3 to 4 weeks I'll be back to like 100%, close to 100% as I can be. I really don't think, though, now that I think about it, that it's probably going to be like a year before I'm ever 100% confident of doing something very strenuous. You're always going to know it's there. You're always going to be worried about blowing it out again. But, you kind of got to live your life. I'm not a runner anymore, so I'm usually walking uphill on a treadmill. So that shouldn't be as bad. But, I'm second guessing whether I should have gotten it done. I mean, he said it was really pretty bad in there, so I guess I'm glad. But I know people who had it and went 30 years and never had it taken care of, and nothing bad happened to them. So, and I'm usually one that likes to procrastinate anyway. So probably, I'm one of those people who would not have it done and something bad would happen. But I don't know. As you can see, I'm walking here. Not a lot of pain. I mean, obviously I can feel it, and I'm walking fairly slow. But, I could do probably 10,000 steps now without too much problem. And the only time it really hurts is if I'm sitting for a long time or laying down for a long time and not moving around. So I try to be careful there too. So if you're going to have this done, I guess I would just say do your research. Don't just take your doctor recommended path. Actually check out a couple different surgeons and do your research and find people who have used that surgeon before, and find somebody who can maybe do laparoscopic. My doctor, I don't think, knew how to do that. So now I'm going to have this big scar. Not the end of the world, of course, but just something to consider. So anyway, be sure to write down in the comments there if you are getting it done. If you have any questions, I could just talk through my experience and, really wish you the best of luck. I was scared. I've never had major surgery ever. And so for me, it was very scary. If you've already had surgery of some sort in the past, maybe it won't be so bad for you. So I thought I'd give you an update. We're a week and 2 days post-surgery, and I have to say, feeling really good. I'm holding back on doing certain things like lifting heavy weights and just in general, just trying to be careful, but I really feel like I could probably do more if I wanted to do more. But I figured I would wrap up with just, sort of a day-by-day post-surgery, what I went through. So I had my surgery on a Thursday in the morning. I was so nervous, just sitting there waiting for the surgeon to come in. He was like an hour late, so I was just sitting there just wondering how it would go. If I would, who knows? I've heard bad things happen in surgeries all the time, and you always wonder if you're going to be one of those. This train's going to go by in a minute. I'll just let you listen to it, but I'll probably stop talking as it goes by. Here it comes. So anyway, that's that. So day one, again, I don't remember anything about the surgery. I remember being wheeled in to the room where they performed the surgery, and that's it. And then I remember, being outside of the I don't know what you call it, surgery room, outside of that, and waking up, and then I don't know how they woke me up, but then having to get into the wheelchair, and that really hurt. Getting into that wheelchair really hurt. I think all the meds hadn't taken effect yet. But for me, they definitely put something in there. The anesthesian put something in there that numbed me for probably 4 or 5 days solid. I don't know if you've ever had like your injection when you're getting a tooth pulled or whatever, and how that numbness feels. But imagine having that feeling 24 hours a day for a long time. That's what it was like, and that was very helpful. I don't even know how bad it would have been without that, but so I was glad I had that. And then the rest of the day, I'll tell you, if I would have coughed, I would have been just in so much pain, because my throat had been a little bit sore. Not really sore, I just had phlegm in my throat. I remember that morning. So I was doing a lot of this, and I couldn't even do that first day. That's how bad it was. So that first day was really bad. I sat in a reclining chair the whole time, like leaning back. And when I was sitting in the reclining chair, the pain wasn't so bad. I still couldn't clear my throat or anything like that. But just sitting there, it was okay. It was when I had to get up and then walk, that was all just really difficult. So I was on hydrocodone, or whatever it was, opioids, on that first day, so that definitely helped. Day two, it felt like it was a little bit better. Still very difficult to get up. I couldn't even do that. But that night, and again, sat the whole time. I think I did walk, walked about 2,000 steps in the house. That was on the Friday. But it was really painful still. And I was taking a lot of that stuff that they gave you to loosen your stool, because I heard about the constipation and you didn't want that to happen. So I was taking that so that when I was ready to go, I could just go. But really, you can't do much that day. It's really painful. You don't want to get up and down too much. It was just painful that day. And there's two kinds of pain. One is like inside your body, like where they did the surgery. You could feel like not the throbbing, just the dull pain. And then the actual where they did the incision for me, because I had open surgery, you felt that pain too. And it kind of shifts from being inside your body pain to more the incision, superficial pain. That's kind of what I noticed. He did tell me that some people have like swollen testicles, swollen penis, black and blue. I didn't get any of that, thank God. But I was worried about that, because he warned me about it like 5 times before the surgery. Day 3 on Saturday is when it really started getting better. That's where I knew that, okay, things are going in the right direction. Oh, forgot to say, I think I may have mentioned that already. The second night, though, I could not get out of bed. I needed help pulling my arm to get me out of bed. That's how much it hurt overnight. Day 3, it started getting better. I went for pretty good sized walk around the block, and felt pretty good there. It was just gradually getting better. By the way, my appetite didn't go up or down at all. It was the same. I was careful. I didn't want to eat anything that would upset my stomach, so I didn't eat much. You just got other things on your mind. Pain's still there for sure. I limited the opioid uses and just was using Tylenol, but I could walk around and do stuff. And actually, I think I took the laundry up and down the stairs to help out and on that day. Sunday, again, a lot better. I went for a longer walk day. I think I put in 6,000 steps. Still didn't lift anything, but it was getting easier to get up and out of a chair. So that day was good. Monday, I took a really long walk, and I worked remotely that day. Pain started to subside. No opioids at all after the Monday. I actually felt like I could start lifting weights if I wanted to, but didn't. Again, the pain started moving more towards now the outside. The skin is kind of where it was more painful. And I could start clearing my throat at that time, so that was good. And then I felt so good on Monday, I actually booked my flight back from New York to Chicago, where I stay, because I got the surgery done in New York, but I stay in Chicago, because I knew I'd be ready by Wednesday to fly, which I did. Tuesday, again, exponentially better on Tuesday. I felt like I could even run if I wanted to. Again, not doing any of that, but felt much better on Tuesday, where it just felt like I got a sore stomach. And by the way, for me, my pain didn't go anywhere else. I've heard other people say it like it hits their obliques or other parts of their abdomen. I didn't get any of that. So again, probably due to the good surgeon. I was taking showers every day, trying to keep the wound clean. So he never put a bandage on it or anything like that. I didn't get stitches. They just put the glue on there. So I tried to keep that as clean as I could. And then Tuesday, again, better. And then Wednesday, I flew out. I think my flight was at 6:30, so I had to get up really early. I forgot that I had a suitcase, and I never checked my bags, so I'd have to put it in the overhead. And I always fly up front in first class anyway, so I knew there'd be room, and I wouldn't have to fight for people to get space up there, but I was able to pick my bag up, throw it up top, and it didn't bother me really at all. Sitting there for that long in the flight, and when it was bouncing around, that did bother me a little bit, but not so bad. And then Wednesday, I worked remote from the house, again from Chicago. Felt better and better. It felt really good because I was by myself, and I kind of had to fend for myself, and for some reason it takes your mind off things. And then Thursday, I went into the office, and going into the office was fine. I just kind of was walking a little bit slow, but was able to drive, sit in my desk, sit in my office for a while without having to get up. My appetite started coming back a little bit more, even though it never went away. I was getting more hungry, but felt really good on Thursday. And then on Friday, I was trying to think what happened on Friday. Friday, I started drinking alcohol. I don't even know if that was okay or not, but I did, and I was worried because I might do something stupid if I drank too much, but that was okay. But I felt so good that I was almost wanted to reward myself, so I had some tequila. But Friday, people said they wouldn't even have known that I had surgery. That's how good I looked on Friday. And then, just trying to think here. Oh, and then, was it Friday? Yeah. So Friday I went to this place with some people from work called Top Golf. And I know that you're not supposed to golf when you get this surgery, but I just felt so good, like I wanted to do it. I was just watching other people do it. So I actually took a few swings, and some big swings, and no ramifications for that today. So I'm not 100% back, but I'm only a week and a couple days out, and I feel so close to being 100%. I am going to go for post-op checkup on Thursday of this week, and hopefully he'll say everything looks good there. I'm going to ask him if they could do better on the scar, because it just doesn't look like they did a good job patching me up, and I want it to heal as soon as I can, so I will check in on that. So I'm going to leave you just with some tips here of what I would do, and certainly put something in the comments, and I'll answer all your questions, at least based on my experience. But the first thing I would do is know that you probably don't have to get the surgery unless it's really bad. You have a huge hole, and it's life-threatening, or it could be life-threatening, and the doctor will tell you that. But if it's like, if you hear that it's small, and if you haven't felt any pains or any symptoms for it, it's likely you don't have to get it done if you don't want to. You can wait and see if it gets worse. And if you don't do anything like heavy lifting normally, you may just want to go without it, and just because the likelihood is that you can live with it. So don't just assume that when they say you have a hernia, you have to get it fixed. You don't have to get it fixed. I chose to get it fixed, and I still have second thoughts whether it was a good idea. But the surgeon did say my hole was like this big, which means that it's lucky I did get it. So that's number one. And do your research on that and get second opinions. And number two, do the research, like I mentioned before, on the type of surgeries. Again, there's laparoscopic surgery. There's something called minimally invasive surgery. I didn't look into that too much. I just kind of found that a couple days ago. I'm not sure what that one is, but that one looks like within a couple days you could be back up and doing what you did, before the surgery. And then there's open surgery, the one that I got. Mine, if you go with open surgery, that the surgeon is going to probably do a good job because he's got full range of sight. full range of movement with his hands doing the surgery. So I'm confident that the work he did was good. The problem is you're going to have that scar, and that's why I'm wishing I would have done more research about the other options other than open surgery, where they cut you open. So that's the second thing. The third thing is, I guarantee you're going to be looking at how long does it take for me to heal after surgery. You almost shouldn't ask that question, because I've heard people take 2 months before they can resume regular lifestyle. I feel like I could resume my regular lifestyle as of starting Monday or Tuesday of next week, like a week and a half. I'm not going to do that, but I feel like I can do that. It all depends on how well your surgery goes, how good your surgeon is, your ability to recover from pain, how good a shape you're in before the surgery. So all those things, I think, probably play a role in how long it'll take for you to heal. So that's also important. Third thing is research, and do research on the surgeon. The likelihood is that either you're going to self-diagnose that you have the hernia, or you're going to do it during a regular checkup with a physician, and they're going to refer you. And they're probably going to refer you to a surgeon that they trust. Don't just take that surgeon. Just do your research and look around and find hopefully other people who've had it done before, that you can find out how it went for them, and interview the surgeons yourself. I didn't do that because I was almost avoiding the existence of this upcoming event, because for me it was very stressful. I've never had surgery before, so I was really nervous about it. And for me, sometimes the best way to handle it is just ignore it, which I know is not the right thing to do, but I wish I would have done more research. Now again, it looks like I think he did a good job because I'm recovering so quickly, but I probably would have found out that he didn't do laparoscopic surgery and would have had other alternatives there. So that's for sure. The next thing is, if you do get the surgery, don't minimize the need to be able to go to the bathroom. Because of the medication you're on, you're going to be constipated. That's going to happen, but they're going to give you medication you could take off the shelf medication. I think it's called Colace, and take more of that than you need, because it's going to be painful to go to the bathroom. But if you take your medications, it loosens everything up. It'll just happen. Hopefully you'll be prepared for when it happens and you make it to the bathroom. But that's not good. If you're constipated, you're going to start feeling everything. I started feeling that the second day everything kind of starts bunching up. So take that seriously. Even if you're in pain, you're probably not going to want to do that. That's really important. Next thing is wear loose clothing to the surgery. That probably sounds obvious, but I didn't, and it was difficult for me because I had regular jeans on. So wear loose clothes to the surgery, and wear loose clothes for at least the next several days after the surgery. You don't really want anything pushing on where the surgery was done. Okay? And then the last piece of advice is, don't just lay on your ass all day feeling sorry for yourself. Get up, walk around as much as you can until you'll know when you've had enough. It'll start hurting. You'll know. Don't, if everybody says just don't do anything for 3 days, be careful. I mean, if you think you're going to fall, obviously don't do it, but walking, I think for me, that was probably what helped my recovery the best. I just walked and walked and walked until I couldn't walk anymore. Mentally, I think it's good, and obviously physically it's helpful too. So anyway, good luck with whatever you're going through. I hope it works out for you, and more than happy to answer any questions. I just had this done. I'm just on the other side of it, and I'll post more updates, but happy to help.